Chapter 1918. Two sets of equipment. Ho Tu sighed. I can't promise you this. It's not that I'm rejecting you, but I don't have the power to promise you at all. The so-called contact is just our wishful thinking, eager to get their help. But in fact, there is almost nothing we can give them. Jang Ei sighed, a little disappointed, but also within expectations. Then what else is there to say? Let's end it here. But I can guarantee that anything I do will not be at the expense of the Huashu Kingdom. You all can rest assured about this. It's not that Jang Ei was unwilling to take others to the Devil's Eye. First of all, it is extremely dangerous there, and Jang Ei doesn't want to add burden to himself. If Ho Tu herself goes there, he would still be happy to do so, but what about Shang Dawen? Haha, the Black Chariot is nothing rare in his team. The second point is that Jang Ei himself has a secret that is difficult to tell others. Therefore, this call ended without any result. Ho Tu looked forward. While she was talking with Jang Ei, Meng Yuanjun and Shang Dawen were also opposite her. Behind them, there were 3 people standing in the distance, all wearing the standard combat uniforms of the Longming Guards, which were custom-made for team leaders. You see, we can no longer control chaos. You have become too powerful, and no one can control him, Ho Tu said lightly. Shang Dawen crossed his arms and smiled helplessly. He deserves all this. He has fought in many battles in the past few years and experienced countless battles large and small, unlike us who have been living in peace in a corner. Ho Tu slowly stood up, like a black lotus blooming in the Earth Temple. After the Chernobyl incident, the world ushered in the second wave of mutation. Many things are different from the past. If we stick to the old ways, we will inevitably be abandoned by this world. So now, we must adopt a more positive attitude to face everything. The era of the second mutation will lead to the emergence of more aliens. Among them, there may even be new Epsilon-level mutants emerging. And this time is different from before because all the survivors in the world today are elites who have gone through numerous tests. Therefore, it is more likely that powerful aliens will emerge among these people. It is even possible that there will be natural Epsilons similar to Jang Ei, Ho Tu, and Gao Changkong. Even the animals in the mountains, rivers, and seas began to mutate on a larger scale, and many ferocious beasts appeared. This can be called the blessing left to the world by the second generation of mankind. Shang Dawen smiled slightly and sighed. We have the intention to try to seize the fortune of heaven and earth with human wisdom. I don't know if we will be punished by heaven for doing this. Ho Tu said coldly. Evolution is like this. The strong prey on the weak, and the fittest survive. The Creator pushes this world like spring, summer, autumn, and winter, and has experienced its creation, prosperity, decline, and end, just to allow species to evolve from generation to generation into the most perfect posture in his mind. So, from now on, strengthen the training of all aliens. Maximize the potential of everyone. Form a new alien force. Name it after the 12 zodiac signs, and select 12 captains, from Jinhai in the east to Qinling in the west, from the wilderness in the north to the central plains in the south. Conquer, fight, and enhance the power of the Shengjing region at all costs. Ho Tu's cold voice was filled with a murderous atmosphere, and I will personally go to talk to the people of the Qinling Dragon Clan. Meng Yuanjun put his hands behind his back, walked slowly forward, and said with a smile, It's useless to go to them like this. If you want others to value you, you must show enough value. Huda looked at Meng Yuanjun and asked, General Meng, what do you think? Meng Yuanjun smiled and said, We can't do anything for the time being. But he dragged out a long tone and said meaningfully, Chaos may bring us some surprises. I believe that even if the people of the Dragon Clan don't care about us, they will definitely care about Zhulong. After all, do we still have to rely on him? Huda's tone was a little displeased. Meng Yuanjun spread his hands, looking as if it was a matter of course. Who makes him so strong? If Ho Tu hadn't shown up, no one in the entire Huashu Kingdom could even come close to Jang Ei in terms of strength. Although he doesn't listen to us, at least our interests are the same. This is the best news. Moreover, after he came back from Fremons, his strength has improved by leaps and bounds. Even King Arthur was defeated by him. He must be hiding some important secrets, especially in the Chernobyl wasteland. Everything that happened after he entered the Light Gate is of great value to us. Shang Dawen frowned and said, "We understand these things. Countries all over the world are eager to know what happened to them later, but how can chaos tell us?" "I have a way," Meng Yuanjun said, and snapped his fingers lightly. A person walked in from behind the gauze curtain, a very beautiful woman. Although she was wearing the combat uniform of the 36 celestial beings, it still couldn't hide the charm of her figure. Her long black hair falls along her shoulders and back, soft and smooth, and her beautiful face is impeccable. A lieutenant colonel of the Longming Guard, codenamed Bluebird, whose real name is Li Yangyang. Him. Ho Tu and Shang Dawen both looked puzzled. "Is there anything special about him?" Meng Yuanjun said with a smile. "He has a very good relationship with someone around Handan, and he even saved that person's life. I plan to arrange for him to be next to Handan." Shang Dawen said disapprovingly, "Who is Handan? You take him for a fool by placing him there so openly." Meng Yuanjun spread his hands. "How could I possibly take him for a fool? I don't know how many people have been fooled by him."
"Oh.
Then, what's the point of doing this?" Shang Dawen asked puzzledly. "What we need is a communication channel." Meng Yuanjuan's words made Shang Dawen and Ho Tu immediately understand that the role played by this lieutenant colonel officer named Li Yangyang was a mouthpiece for both sides. Moreover, due to his special relationship with Zhang Yi's companions, he is also able to mediate when conflicts or misunderstandings arise between the two sides. In today's Huashu Kingdom, if we were to ask which two forces are the strongest, then without a doubt, they are of course the Shengjing region and, do you think I would say the Jiangnan region? No, of course not. In fact, Tianhai City has always been an independent force. What's more, after Fremons returned, Jang Ei, as the biggest beneficiary, built an absolutely powerful force comparable to the regional level with just a few people. Shang Dawen looked at Li Yangyang. She held her head high and chest out. Her height of about 1.7 meters was not very outstanding among men, but it was very proud among women. His stern face showed no emotion, and he was a very qualified officer of the Dragon Guard. He had a deep impression of this person. After all, there were many strong people with unique personalities among the Longming Guards, but he was the only one. If he were on the other side of the ocean, there might be many people like him. Moreover, Zhang Ei had mentioned him intentionally or unintentionally before, and his words revealed a desire to take the person away, but later Zhang Ei never mentioned the matter again. Including the battle in Tianhai City, he was also a very special one. He went directly to Zhang Ei's shelter and stayed there for a while. Shang Dawen thought for a while and asked Meng Yuanjun, "It seems that you have had this idea for a long time. But how do we send people over?" Meng Yuanjun looked at Li Yangyang and smiled. "Lieutenant Colonel Qingniao, you should tell me about this matter yourself." Li Yangyang's body was straight, and her voice was cold. She said in a voice that everyone could hear clearly, "Marshal Tianpeng under Hun Dun and I are in a relationship." Puff. Shang Dawen almost vomited blood, and Ho Tu's pupils quickly shrank, and then dilated incredibly. It is true that they knew Li Yangyang was from Nanliang, but it was indeed not something that ordinary people could do to say such things so openly in front of the senior leaders of Shengjing District. You are such a man, woman." Shang Dawen gave a thumbs up and exclaimed. Li Yangyang didn't care at all. "I was originally a woman, but God put me in a man's body." Ahem, cough, cough, cough. "If that's the case, then there's no problem." Shang Dawen looked at Meng Yuanjun. "Leave the rest of the communication to Meng Shuai." I can't accept it. This is too exciting." Shang Dawen prided himself on having an open mind, but at this moment he suddenly felt like a feudal conservative. As for Li Yangyang's loyalty, Shang Dawen was not worried at all. Each of the professionally trained members of the Longming Guard has a mind of steel and will never betray the Shengjing region. Meng Yuanju nodded with a smile. "No problem. I will contact Hundun. But before that, I need to communicate with Marshal Tianpeng and ask him to plead for us. Zhang Dawen took a few deep breaths and planned to go out to get some cool air to calm himself down. But Ho-Tu stared at Li Yongyang and couldn't move his eyes away for a long time. There are really not many things that can make the former top master of Huashu Kingdom so focused. Zhang Dawen took a glance, and following the direction of her gaze, he could clearly see her eyes moving back and forth between two parts of Li Yongyang's body. Even though she was one of the most powerful aliens in Huashu Kingdom, Ho-Tu was only in her 20s after all, and she had no chance to get in touch with many fields. Bluebird, can I ask you a question? Ho-Tu pointed at Li Yongyang and asked solemnly. At this time, a smile appeared on Li Yongyang's face, which was mature and charming enough to fascinate thousands of otakus. Of course, Your Highness Ho-Tu. Ho-Tu frowned, stretched out her finger, and then slowly moved it down, with her arm forming a 45 degrees angle with her body. Is yours still there? Zhang Dawen. Meng Yuanjun. Several. New Dragon Ming guards in the back. W_W. Li Yongyang stroked her cheek with one hand and said without any shyness, It's still there? The light of 24K titanium alloy flashed in Ho-Tu's eyes. Oh,
but why?
If you really want to be a woman, you can take it off. Li Yongyang waved her hair and said disdainfully, There are so many beautiful women, and they have no personality at all. People like me who have 2 sets of equipment are rare beasts. This is called rare things are valuable. Hearing this, everyone subconsciously pondered it. You know what you really have to say, although this theory may sound absurd at first, it is actually quite reasonable if you think about it carefully. 2 sets of equipment. Ho-Tu fell into deep thought, and then she walked towards Li Yongyang, stretched out her finger, and poked her chest. It was so elastic and full that she took 2 steps back. Wow, so awesome! Ho-Tu's eyes were full of shock. Is this the power of technology? Li Yongyang said proudly, Technology changes life. Zhang Dawen sighed. It's still just life. If you add the word sex in front of life, it would be even better. Meng Yuanjun clapped his hands beside him. Okay. The soldiers of our Longming Guard are indeed extraordinary and have unique skills. In this way, I will be more assured to entrust this important task to him, her. Ho-Tu also said sincerely, Brother and sister, I will trouble you in the future. How dare I, how should I put it? This is the first time I do this kind of thing. Let's learn by doing. Li Yongyang looked humble. Meng Yuanjuan's thoughts were not without reason. A copy of Zhang Yi's personal information is now in the hands of senior officials of major forces around the world, and they must study this person carefully. Of course, anyone who can achieve certain success in a certain field will also enter the databases of various countries. Jang Ei himself is also doing this. So Meng Yuanjun was relatively familiar with Jang Ei. Although Jang Ei seems to be a cold-blooded person, he is actually very gentle to the people around him. The most obvious examples are Uncle Yu, Fatty Su, Yang Xia, Zhou Haimei, and others. Some of them are low-level mutants, and some are even just ordinary people. According to common sense, as Jang Ei becomes stronger and stronger, he will be surrounded by many talented people willing to follow him. But even so, he never abandoned his core circle of partners. It was for this reason that he felt it necessary to send Li Yongyang over there. The most important purpose is to open up communication channels and avoid estrangement between Jang Ei and Xinjiang District. As the communication between the 2 sides increases, the opportunities for cooperation will naturally increase. Instead of being like it is now, Jang Ei does not trust Xinjiang District, and Xinjiang District does not dare to fully trust Jang Ei. Win-win cooperation is the mainstream of mankind in today's era. He and Li Yongyang left the Earth God Temple, and then he clasped his hands together in front of Li Yongyang and begged, Please, Lieutenant Colonel Qingyao. You will go to Tianhai City as a diplomatic ambassador and eliminate the barriers between us. Li Yongyang nodded. I will try my best, but I can't guarantee what the result will be. She blushed slightly. After all, I don't want the pure love between Tianpeng and me to be mixed with other things. Meng Yuanjun swallowed quietly. That's good. I believe in love again. He muttered to himself. The old saying is indeed true. Opposite sexes only exist to reproduce. True love only exists between the same sex. That evening, Fat Su was in his room. He locked the door from inside, then sat on the chair skillfully, turned on the game console, and connected it to the smart system. Soon, with a flash of light before his eyes, when he opened his eyes again, he had arrived in another world. This is one of the newest games, released 3 years ago, and it is a virtual reality game. However, due to limited conditions, not many players are still playing it nowadays. In the entire Huashu Kingdom regional network system, there are only 2 players, him and Li Yongyang. Fatty Su and Li Yongyang made an appointment to play games together online tonight. By the way, this fat otaku, who is not that fat anymore, will take time to go online most of the time to gain experience and unlock achievements. After all, most of the time, he was in Mu Yan's shadow. Jang Ei was busy outside and he was rarely needed, whether it was for thinking or fighting, so he was very free. Ding ding, ding ding. Is Yang here? Soon. Li Yongyang's game character appeared in the beautiful ancient city-state of Huashu Kingdom in front of them. Fatty Su perked up. Yang, long time no see. Let's go on an adventure. Yang, who looked like an elf, looked at Fatty Su with a smile. She suddenly came up and hugged Fatty Su's arm affectionately. Fatty Su's round face turned slightly red. Lele, I'm so sorry. I had planned to go to the Eternal Night Forest dungeon with you. But suddenly, we encountered a little problem. Her gentle tone made Fatty Su full of masculinity. Fatty Su's body shook. He put his arm around Li Yongyang's shoulders, looked at her affectionately and said, What's wrong, Yang? If you encounter any problems, you can tell me, I will help you. Li Yongyang's eyes lit up, and she looked at him with emotion. Really? That's great. I have something important to do today, and I need you to help me make a decision. Her bright smile made Fatty Su feel like spring breeze. Actually, making such a request might cause you some trouble. She pursed her lips, looking as if she wanted to say something but hesitated. This made Fatty Su even more manly. Hey, what's the matter? Just tell me, don't worry. There's no problem that I, Marshal Tianping, can't handle. Even if I can't handle it, I still have Lauda Hundun. Looking around the world, who dares to mess with us? Then I'll tell you. Yeah, go ahead. So Li Yongyang blinked her big, bright eyes, raised the corners of her pretty mouth in an intoxicating arc, and expressed her request to go to Tianhai City. After hearing this, Fatty Su was stunned. It happened so suddenly that I wasn't mentally prepared. He had mixed feelings. He was definitely happy, but also a little nervous and uncertain. Because of this matter, Jang Ei has to make the final decision. It would be fine under normal circumstances, but now they are about to go to North Africa to carry out an important mission. Fatty Su pinched his chin with one hand and fell into deep thought. Li Yongyang smiled faintly and did not keep him in suspense any longer. She directly told him the purpose of her trip to Tianhai City. I went to Tianhai City as a diplomat. In recent years, there has been a lack of communication between Mr. Chaos and the Shengjing district, which is something that both sides do not want to see. So the top management wanted to arrange for me to come here, and it is also because the relationship between the two of us is relatively close. She said, lowering her eyes. But I know that this matter may cause you trouble. If Lord Hundun doesn't want me to come, I will go back and report to my superiors and will definitely not make things difficult for you. Seeing Li Yongyang's expression, how could Fatty Su be willing to do so? He hurriedly grabbed Li Yongyang's soft, tender, delicate, and warm little hand, looked at her affectionately and said, Don't worry, this matter is left to me, old pig. Leave it to me, Marshal Tianpeng. I'll go talk to Lauda. I believe he will give me this face. Li Yongyang clasped Fatty Su's hands with her back hand, her eyes as gentle as spring water, as if they were about to melt. I knew that you are a man worth relying on. Hee, isn't that a matter of course? Jang Ei sat outside the shelter, which had been built into a huge manor at this time. It was covered with thick lawns, and all kinds of exotic flowers and plants grew there, exuding a fresh scent. Jang Ei sat on a white bench with his legs crossed and a black pistol in his right hand. His breathing was even, his eyes were gentle without any emotion, and his body was neither tense nor relaxed. Normally, he would use this method to train himself, making sure he could get into an absolutely calm fighting posture in the shortest possible time. With a gun in his hand, he will never give up the desire to fight. At this moment, he can shoot from any angle. As his mastery of spatial abilities became more and more sophisticated, his shooting on the physical level had reached extremely tricky angles. Within a certain range, he can even actually make the bullet fly along an arc. This peaceful state is a kind of practice he performed according to Liang Yu's guidance. When it reaches the ultimate level, it means that man and nature are one, and one becomes one with the surrounding environment. Suddenly, Fatty Su appeared within his sensing range. Jang Ei moved the gun in his hand slightly and pulled the trigger. The bullet shot out and made an arc in the air, heading straight for Fatty Su behind him. Fatty Su was startled, and without thinking, he summoned a large ice shield in front of him to block it. Crack! The bullet embedded deeply into the ice shield, almost shattering Fatty Su's ice shield. "Boss, there's no need to greet me like this, right? It could kill people," Fatty Su said with a look of grievance. Jang Ei turned his head and gave him a cold look. "I spent so many resources to train you into an Epsilon-level mutant with 18,000 points. If you can't even catch a bullet, you deserve to die." Fatty Su smiled embarrassedly but still said curiously, "Lauda, what is this new move of yours? It looks very cool." "It's nothing, just a kind of practice. It's not perfect yet." Jang Ei has not yet reached the realm of arbitrarily distorting space. If one day he can reach Bai Longzi's level, perhaps he will be able to do it. Dear viewers, thanks for staying with me. We'll try to get you more updates. Please like and subscribe and share the video with your friends. Love you all.